This conference I am holding today is for the newly added members of the Confederacy of Space Advocates, which was started by K. Leslie Graves, the host of the Earth-Moon Colony books and the Japan-Haiti blog talk radio shows. K. Leslie asked me to help explain why he started yet another Facebook page, although there are many related to space advocacy and just as many groups and pages dedicated to astronomy and cosmology. First of all, the name, Confederacy. K. Leslie chose that because a confederation is entirely voluntary, whereas the more popular term, federation, involves not only a commitment, but it also means there is some type of central authority, and the Earth-Moon Colony show is not in support of that. Instead, he feels the group should be a model for what he sees as the ideal model for groups in outer space in the future, when colonies of humans can either be entirely privately supported or act in some measure with mutual support. Let me explain. K. Leslie notes that in a large measure the entire space community has been marginalized, as some of you know from the ability of the recent Republican frontrunner for the presidential nomination to dismiss another candidate's statement about the urgency of space and manned colonization and manned missions. The statements I am making are not political ones, so please bear with me. If you agree that the work of space community of activists have not been deemed an urgency by our schools, our media, or our government, then we can agree on that much. In the March 8th show, Sean Moss discussed the fact that the space community has in the past been forced to state priorities, for example whether going to Mars was a priority or whether the more immediately achievable goal of going and staying on the moon was more important. Sean pointed out that scarce funding was a primary reason for this, something that K. Leslie Graves agreed with. If you agree that broad and diverse missions, both manned and unmanned, funded either privately or publicly, or funding with some tax incentive or some public-private match, then if you can agree that all models of funding and all levels of exploration, discovery and settlement should be on the table, then we can agree that much, and we can move forward. So, back to discussing the reason for the Confederation. It occurred to K. Leslie Graves that the ability to combine efforts for working activity, beyond just talk, was limited, and perhaps internalized by many in the space community. We have a large variety of roles that the whole movement of space activity needs, but we have not organized them in such a way that our use of their specializations are efficient. I will explain. In 10 years, if K. Leslie wants to consult with someone on designs for a space elevator, or for a design for a new private expedition to Mars, he will not have to hunt around. By that time there will be a referral service connected to a listing, or a bank of expertise, organized by type, function and capability. In 10 to 15 years, if he wants to commission a team who have already had successful missions to the moon, and would be interested in expanding to ventures to Mars, he will not have to look around. He should be guided to tested, reliable and certified experts, as voted on by their peers, who are perhaps all members of the same confederation, a confederation like what we are trying to build. If a group wants to announce plans to form a new company for space-related mining, travel, or for providing food service, they should be able to solicit bids and enlist knowledgeable and reputable people for consultant work, as well as employing emissaries for their projects. In the future, groups will be coming out of the woodwork to grab dollars or seize opportunities they see, to make it rich, fast. Many of these businesses will take advantage of, and do damage to the credibility of everyone, the honest and qualified, and the formation of a confederacy of activists can reduce that risk. At minimum, today, you can consult the Zagat directory to see the ratings on various places to dine. At minimum, a confederacy can work to recommend to newcomers which vendors or companies they do business with, and they can recommend based on either their direct experience or the experience of other Confederate members they trust. Cooperation. In one place, banking talents and expertise. In one place, referring with recommendations. In one place. These are the functions that will be performed by groups of people who are in some way joined or are confederated. So, in summary, you as space activists are the forward-thinking in the larger society. Somehow, you are all able to make the time for this activity, while you have the same concerns as everyone else, to pay their bills and be with their families. Since you are all active in your various interests in the space community, and if you can look forward and see the mutual benefit to you, and your customers and to the general public, on whose behalf we now work, then maybe you can see the benefit of forming a confederation now. K. Leslie sees a Speakers Bureau, a Technical Engineering Bureau, a Computer Science Bureau, an Advertisement and Public Relations Bureau, all growing from the bowels of the space community that has been fractioned thus far. In his lifetime, he hopes to even see a pool of reliable scouts, along with emissaries, get paid to help new ventures as well as help the public come to know and to love space, that which you have given so much of yourselves to. This is the first of several conversations K. Leslie hopes to have, as he carves out a role for both himself and for his relatively new shows. He wants to advertise you, your work and the work of those you recommend that can benefit from a public airing, or announcements about its events as well as its accomplishments. He brings to you an ability to publicize you, and a willingness to organize so that random talents of the great many space interested, among the public, do not go wasted. Thank you for your time today. Please message him with feedback about the idea of a commonwealth, the kind which I have spoken of today.